Hi, welcome to Talk Back Live, a show that gets you involved in live conversation and sports with Brian Camp on Sports Update, bringing you the latest developments in today's world of sports. And now here's your host, Frank Allan.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and a pleasant night to each and every one of you in your different time zones around the world and across the country. Here we are once again. We're gathered around on a Thursday. It's 8 p.m. on the East Coast, 5 p.m. on the West Coast. It's 1 a.m. in London and 3 a.m. in Israel, and they're both on Fridays. And even Tokyo is on a Friday mode. They're 10 a.m. over there, ready for breakfast and getting ready to start their day. And we want to welcome each and every one of you and thank you for dropping by, because you just dropped in to a place called Talk Back Live. That's the name of the show, where we meet every Thursday and we get together, you, me, and the rest of the world, and we have a little fun, enjoy a little conversation, and we talk about just about anything under the sun. Anything that you could imagine, you could talk about. And you could be involved in the show. As a matter of fact, that's what we want you to do. We want to get you involved in the show. We rope you in, and you can say anything you like to us. Now, as the host of the show, I get to start the conversation going, right? I throw out whatever topic I throw out, right? But that doesn't mean we have to linger on with that topic. You can get involved by using your fingers on your keyboard, typing in whatever you want to talk about, whatever it is, and we will certainly, of course, acknowledge you, because you have opinions. That's what the show is all about, free exchange of opinions and ideas. You have a lot of them, and we want to hear yours too. And so if you have anything to say in particular, please feel free. If there's a certain topic that you want to talk about, feel free. And if it's interest to us and everyone that comes into the room, of course, we'll acknowledge it and we'll talk about it as well. Now, for those of you who've been with us for a very long time, you already know the protocol here. It's what we do, right? We're here and we thank you so much for being along with us. Now, there may be some people who are brand new to the show as of tonight, and we want to welcome them and let them know they're just as welcome and just as important as people who have been here a long time. And so we get the show started, and we want to get you involved as well. Now, we come on 3 different platforms. We're live on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. And any 3 of those platforms will get you there. That's all you have to do is tell your family and friends about it, let them in on the action, and let them know that we're here and share this great moment that we share each other every week, right here on a Thursday night here. And we're coming to you live from New York. That's where we originate. So no matter where you are around the world, we're right there with you. Now, you can be anywhere because we're global. We're all over the place. And so therefore, if you're someplace in Vegas or California and someplace on the other side of the world, we're right there too. All you have to do is make sure that you're in a nice place where there's nice Wi-Fi and a hotspot, and you're right there with us. We're all around the world. And so with that being said, again, welcome aboard. Welcome aboard. Now, we've got a lot of things that we're going to talk about today. We got a show that we're going to talk about. We want to get everybody involved. And as I said, you can get involved as well and tell us what you want to talk about, as well as what I put out as well. Okay. So here it is. Here's the deal. For the next hour, we get you involved, and we've got a lot of things planned in the show too, as in conjunction with talking to you. Now, later on in the program, not too far away, within this half hour of the show, we're going to call on Brian Camp. He's going to come out of Charlotte, North Carolina. And what he does, he's going to deliver us the latest developments in today's world of sports on Sports Update. That's the name of his show. That's his show inside of this show. He comes on every week. And if you have any questions, sports related, of course, you'll be able to talk to him as well. You can ask any questions you like. He'll see you. Whatever he doesn't see, we'll deliver the questions to him, and he will answer them live on the air. And if you're watching us on Facebook and YouTube, of course, you'll get a chance to see him right on the screen. You'll see him. He'll come right in. That wouldn't be the case for people who are watching us on Instagram, though, because we're not designed and set up that way. And I always keep my fingers crossed each week. I like to wake up in the morning and say, oh, wow, you know something? Instagram now has the capability of allowing us to share our friends that come on the air with us, right? And they'll get a chance to see Brian. But since that's not the case, you could still hear him. You'll still be able to hear everything he has to say. And of course, you can still ask questions just as well. So that's coming up. And those of you who are watching us on YouTube and Instagram. Now, first of all, let me just say this before we talk about Instagram. We already know what the deal with that. But if you're watching us on, let's say, Facebook, and you're here for the first time, you can tag this show to all of your friends. You can tag it to them, right? And it doesn't take that long to tag them. And once you tag them, they'll see it's coming from you. They'll know it's coming from you because you're friends of them. And they'll see you and they'll click onto that tag. And once they click onto that tag, it automatically brings them right here to us. And if you're watching us on YouTube, we want you to know that you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. We always encourage you to do that each week. Subscribe to us. It's very important to us because it lets us know who's actually following us and who wants to be around us all the time. And we get a chance to know all of that, okay? And it also gives you an opportunity to know that whenever we come on live, you'll get that instant notification. Let's say, for instance, next week you come on, you have all intentions of jumping on the show, jumping on the bandwagon, but for some reason you got preoccupied online, but the instant notification pops up and you'll say, wow, the show is on the air. Click onto that instant notification. It brings you right to the YouTube channel. Simple as that. So subscribe to us. It's very important. We would love you to do that. And we would love to have every one of you aboard and all of your friends as well. Now, for those of you who are watching us on Instagram, you can do something similar. We have similarities here. And what you can do is cut and paste the platform that you're on, right? Paste the platform that you're on and just send it out to all of your friends. And it's a notification that they will get as well. And they'll see it. All they have to do is click onto the link that you sent them, and it brings them right here to us, okay? That's all you have to do. So we thank you so much for being along. Remember, all of the views and the opinions expressed on this show, Talkback Live, does not necessarily reflect the view or the opinions of the people of Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Zoom, or any other social media outlet or any kind of broadcast publication, all right? So we covered all of that. We want to say hello to Mary out there coming out of Brooklyn, New York. Thank you so much. And thank you, Mary, for that compliment. I'm looking to hear from Brian. Of course, he'll be out here in a few minutes. All right. He'll be glad to hear that. He'll be out here in a few minutes, just a few minutes from now. And folks, here we are. It's February. We're still in the month of February, right? People are still here. And we're still here and doing our thing in the month of February. And in the month of February, you may be celebrating a birthday or something, whatever activities may be coming along. Now, we know that this month of February, which comes up, we get a long weekend, all right? And the reason why we get a long weekend, and you probably forgot all about it, it's going to be President's Day on Monday. So if you have the luxury of taking off from work, right? If you have that luxury, of course, you'll have Monday off, and it's going to be a long weekend. And the good news is that when you get back on Tuesday, it's a short week, all right? And I know you look forward to that. So President's Day is right around the corner. And of course, everybody's going to be looking forward to that, all right? And so let's see, is that it? Is that all I have to say? Oh, no, I was just saying, since we're in the month of February, we're also in the month of celebration. And what we're celebrating right now is Black History Month. That's what we're celebrating right now, Black History Month. Now, Black History Month comes every February, and you don't have to be Black to celebrate Black History Month. People do it all the time, right? We celebrate everything here. And so since it's the month of Black History Month, we want to celebrate all month long. Now, all month long, we want you to take the opportunity to look up in the library or go on your computer on Google and Google some of the achievers, the great Black achievers that made this country strong as well. And look them up, see what you can learn, right? And tonight, if you want to talk about a particular person that you admire, feel free. We'll talk about them, right? We'll talk about them. Now, this week on Black History Month, and every week during the whole month of Black History, we are going to salute a pioneer. And we did one last week, but this week we salute another one. And this person is Garrett Morgan, a prolific inventor who called himself Black Edison. He created early versions of the traffic light and gas mask. Can you get to that? And he began his career as a sewing machine mechanic before patenting an improved sewing machine design and hair straightening product, among other inventions. And his breathing device, known as safety hood, later provided the blueprint for World War I gas mask. And in 1923, Morgan invented a safer traffic light. The notable Black inventor, who lived much of his life in Ohio, died in July of 1963 at the age of 86 years old. So we salute and pay homage to another Black achiever who invented the traffic light. And every time you drive, you notice that. You think about him. Garrett Morgan, the light and the gas mask. Who knew, right? Great inventions. So that's one of the things that we talk about, and we celebrate the pioneers of them all, right? And so there you go. All right, and happy Black History Month to each and every one of you. Now this month, of course, we have another thing that we do. This is not a celebration. This is just an acknowledgement, and it's near and dear to me too. This is National Cancer Prevention Month. Now, National Cancer Prevention Month is something that we look at because we want to prevent it. If you have never been under the umbrella or have been diagnosed of any cancer of any kind, good for you. Good for you. And so since we know that, what we want you to do is stay on top of all of that and take care of yourself. And as you get older, of course, you change your lifestyle. You don't do the things that you used to do before, when you were younger, because when we were younger, we were supermen and superwomen, superheroes, nothing bothered us. When I was that young, I said, I'm going to live forever. I'm never going to die. I'm indestructible. That's not the case. That's not what life tells you, because we all have to go sometime. But while we're here, we want to stay as healthy as we possibly can. And so with this National Cancer Prevention Month, you could talk to, let's say, anyone who maybe like a person in your family or a best friend or something like that, someone that knows all about it. You can talk to them. If, God forbid, something happens that you contract some kind of cancer, you want to make sure you're aware of it. And the best thing to do is also part of being healthy in that area is to continue to see your doctor. Continue to see your doctor, whether it's whenever he wants you to come, he or she wants you to come in, whether it's 6 months or a year, whatever it is. And he knows that because he'll look at your record and say, okay, I don't have to see you for another 6 months, or I don't have to see you for another year. You're looking good. Everything is fine. If anything occurs, get in touch with immediately. All right. And so, steady see your doctor, steady seeing him or her, and make sure that you're on the health kit. So that's what we're acknowledging right now. And that's Cancer Awareness Month. All right. There you go. Now, we just wrapped up New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, Chinese New Year's. We just wrapped it up just yesterday, as a matter of fact. Yesterday was Wednesday, right? Yesterday was the end of Chinese New Year's. Or we just wanted to bring that out. It was one of the celebrations that we had for this month. And so it's like it starts in the middle of January and it ends off in the middle of February. And so it's safe to say we're almost like not quite in the middle. The 15th will make it like the middle, but there it is. So there it is. So we just end that off. I just wanted to let you know about that. Okay. You're watching Talk Back Live. We want to be with you for the entire hour, and we want you to stay with us. Tony Roberts, who appeared in Woody Allen's film, including Annie Hall, while enjoying a long bona fide career on Broadway, died Friday due to a complication of lung cancer. The actor had a long career on Broadway in which he was twice Tony nominated for Best Actor in a musical in 1968 for How Now, Dow Jones, and for featured actor in a play in 1969 for Woody Allen's Play It Again, Sam. Tony was 85 years old. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's about that time. As usual, we will get started right now because what we're going to do, we're going to go over to Charlotte, North Carolina. Now you say, what's happening in Charlotte, North Carolina? Brian Camp is what's happening in Charlotte, North Carolina. He's here each week, and he's here with the latest developments in today's world of sports. And again, if you have any sports-related questions, he's the man to ask, not me. So there you go. And Brian, so there you go, Brian. I must say this, though. You made that prediction about the Super Bowl, but I guess you'll talk about that.
Yeah, I lost. I mean, I predicted that the Kansas City Chiefs would win and make history by going for a three-peat, and I missed. I'm human. I make mistakes. I never said I was the greatest handicapper picker of all time, but I thought in my heart that they would do it, but they ran into a
Mm.
buzzsaw in the Philadelphia Eagles, and that game wasn't even close.
That
I
wasn't even Kansas City playing. That wasn't Kansas City. Those weren't the Chiefs that were playing.
They were
That,
players that wore their uniforms.
oh, they wore the uniform, but that wasn't them. I mean,
Yeah,
hey, listen, and I was kind of like concerned about Patrick Mahomes when
yeah.
he had let me know if I'm right or wrong about that. He passed off three interceptions.
Was it three? I think it was
It
two or
was
three. One of
no, it
them
was three.
was ran back to for a touchdown. He had a horrible game, and
Yeah.
all that discussion about who's the greatest. He's catching Tom Brady as the GOAT. All that,
Mm,
all of that's been thrown out the window.
yeah.
But but he's still a young man. He'll be 30 in September. So it's a step backwards for him, but we cannot diminish what kind of career that he has in his first 7 years
Mm,
in the NFL, winning three Super Bowls, going to five Super Bowls, and you just can't ignore the fact that he's got off to a great start. But let's give the Philadelphia Eagles some credit, even though I'm
yeah.
not a fan of the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan, and we just don't root for the
Well, don't you
Philadelphia Eagles.
don't you tell your wife that. Is she
Well,
listening?
she's on cloud nine. She bought an Eagles cap.
I saw it. She posted on Facebook. I saw it.
Yeah.
Still selling that
So
Eagle cap.
I mean, I don't know where she got it from. I just ignored it and just avoided her because I know she was gonna just dance in my face and everything. So, congratulations to her. She's a fan of the Eagles. She's been
Yeah.
an Eagles fan for a while, but wasn't too happy. I'll be very honest. I did not want them to win
Well,
because
I after the game, I sent her a text and congratulate her.
I'm pretty sure she was happy about that. But I had to eat crow. I had to eat crow, and that's something I'm not accustomed
And I
doing.
bet you still have some left over, right?
Yeah, somewhere stashed, yeah. And but she's on cloud nine, she don't wear baseball caps, but she got a baseball cap of the Philadelphia Eagles on there and just dancing and just doing all of this and
Mm,
she's on cloud nine. So congratulations to her and to the Philadelphia Eagles for winning Super Bowl 59. It was a
yeah.
game, like I said, it wasn't much of a game. Final score was 40 to 22, but that score doesn't tell it all. That one time it was 34 nothing. It was just horrendous. I don't want to talk about the halftime show. It was a lot of
Oh,
controversial stuff
yeah.
that and listen, Serena Williams is getting blasted. Her husband is upset. Drake was involved, and
Yeah.
listen. to each his own. Um, I'm not a big rap fan like I used to be. I do like rap from back in the day. It was Run DMC and LL Cool J and to Salt and Pepper, to those kind of era of rappers I really like. But you know, they were asked to do it and they performed. A message was sent, but again,
Yeah.
yeah, there's always something with people who are not happy with the halftime show. So it is what it is. But congratulations again to the Eagles. They now move. They're having tomorrow in downtown Philly. They're going to have their parade. So once they have their parade, they're going to be going to be have all this here confetti all over the city of Philadelphia. So
Yeah.
I forgot to say good evening and good morning to some of you wherever you are, might be around the world, whether it's daytime or nighttime. I am in Charlotte, North Carolina, where it is kind of chilly. Um, we had some rain all day, and now finally the sun was about to pop out as it got a little dark outside. So look like the rain is finished. I know in the down in the East Coast, a lot of you all experience a lot of snow and rain, but we had the rain, we had the cold weather, we even had warm weather too as well early this week. We had 80 degrees at one point, but now it's a little chilly, and it is still winter in most parts of the world, especially here in the United States. So we do
Yeah.
have cold weather, you know.
Yeah.
So,
By the
but
way, Mary was rooting for the Eagles too.
oh, Mary, why? Mary, why? Why? But okay, I'm not gonna hate on that. Okay. Congratulations, Mary. I don't know if you want any money on that, but congratulations, Mary. If you feel that you felt that they was gonna win, then I applaud you too as well. For me,
Yeah.
I'm not a fan, but
And the old words of the coach of San Francisco, or not San Francisco, uh, not San Francisco, those are 49ers. The Chiefs, and the old words of the coach of the Chiefs, great googly moogly.
great, good. Yeah, that was a beatdown. That was a beatdown.
Yeah.
That was a beatdown. But
Yep.
let me continue on that with the football. There was record-setting Fox Sports says project because the game was on Fox and Tom Brady did call it. Projecting a Super Bowl record averaging audience of 126 million United States viewers across television and streaming platforms. It would be the second straight year, because remember last year when the Chiefs played the 49ers, they reached a audience last year was 123.7 million. Means that game was on CBS, Nickelodeon, Univision, and streaming platforms as well. So they surpassed that this year with that record of 126 million. The final total did not yet come out yet. It might have, but I must admit missed it. But it did surpass of last year. So now that football is officially over, we can move on to baseball's coming up soon with the pitchers and catchers about to report the training camp. And speaking about Major League Baseball Commissioner Rob Manfred says he is getting emails from fans concerning over the sports lack of having a salary cap following an off-season spending spree by those LA Dodgers. The LA Dodgers sparked an increased attention over the expiration of the collective bargain agreement in December 2026. What they're trying to do, they're trying to put a salary cap because the Dodgers have so much money, they are just buying up players. They are trying to make this a World Series. The only thing they got to do is just show up. And a lot of people are projecting them of winning the World Series on opening day because they have so much money and they're going to sign all these star players. This is where the problem comes where this is why they want parity in sports, parity in baseball, because it's so lopsided. Where the Yankees used to do this here during the time of George Steinbrenner. George Steinbrenner, of the former principal owner of the Yankees, who bought the team back in 1973 from CBS, was buying up all these here players, these great players. And basically, it wasn't no fun because you always see the same team winning all the time, you know? And so they're having so back to my original point that I was saying, baseball biggest spender in 2024, they won the World Series, and they had a 353 million luxury tax payroll and had to pay 103 million dollars in taxes, but they win the World Series. It would be a loss if they spent all that money and did not win the World Series. But now they've been on doing the off season. They've been so active in the free agency and signing these top players throughout the league. In the NBA, we say so long. Congratulations to 91-year-old Hubie Brown, who called his last final game on and happened on Super Bowl Sunday as the Milwaukee Bucks defeated the Philadelphia 76ers 135 to 127. Hubie Brown was awarded the game ball after the final horn was sounded. Now, he spent 15 years as a coach with the ABA Kentucky Colonels and the Atlanta Hawks and the New York Knicks and the Memphis Grizzlies. Hubie Brown spent 35 years as a national TV and radio analyst covering 18 NBA finals. Brown was also inducted to the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame in 2005. If he ever had a chance to listen to Hubie Brown, it was like when he speaks, class is in session because he breaks everything down in details. The way he talks about the game, even as an analysis, you just have to listen. And he just saying, well, this is what's going to happen, and here's how this goes. I mean, he was like a teacher in motion, a professor in motion. So 91 years old, he just retired. Imagine on a job for being at the age of 91. We salute you, Hubie Brown. We thank you for the memories, and you will be missed. You will definitely will be missed. This day is sports, February 13th, 1920, Baseball Hall of Fame Rube Foster and 7 other teams created the first Negro League National League at a meeting in Kansas City YMCA. 1923, first black pro basketball team called the Renaissance organizes. In 1971, U.S. Vice President Spiro Agnew hits 2 tee shots. This is golf now, into the crowd, injuring 2 people. Must be a terrible golfer if you can't hit the ball in the green. Instead, you're going to hit it in the crowd and injuring 2 people. That was an incredible shot. He must have really seriously hurt these 2 people. 1974, James Cool Papa Bell is named to Baseball Hall of Fame. 1992, Jose Canseco repeatedly rams his Porsche, his car, into his wife Esther's BMW. Marital problems. I remember that too. That was marital problems. Why are you going to mess up both cars? You're going to have a nice car, a Porsche, and you're going to ram it into a BMW? Maybe it was the steroids that did it, because he was known for steroids at that time. Birthdays. Happy birthday to the late Eddie Robinson. Was born in 1919. He was an NCAA Hall of Fame basketball coach for Grambling University. Was born in Jackson, Louisiana. 1944, Sal Bando, Major League third baseman GM for the Oakland A's, he was the captain of the Oakland A's, who won 3 straight World Series from 1972 through 1974, was born in Cleveland, Ohio. 1947, happy birthday to Mike Krzyzewski, NCAA basketball coach for Duke University, was born in Chicago, Illinois. In 1977, Randy Moss, NFL wide receiver, Hall of Famer, 6-time Pro Bowler, was born in Rand, West Virginia. I want to say something about Randy Moss. Randy Moss just came back He took a leave from the NFL Live. He used to see him every Sunday at 12 noon, around 10 a.m. They used to stay for him from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. He used to be with the crew, and he took a leave of absence. It was a very tearful moment. This was a couple months ago where he was diagnosed with cancer. So he took a leave. He came back on Super Bowl Sunday to do the show. They did a tribute for him. He was so emotional on the air. This was live TV. He was on the air, and he just poured out his heart, shed tears. There's nothing wrong when a grown man shed tears. Nothing wrong when a grown man shed tears. We too have emotions too as well, and he was received so well. Stars all over the league and outside the league. Gave greetings to him and was glad to see him back. Randy Moss is one of the best wide receivers of all time. He's top 3 of all time. Now, since we are in Black History mode, this is Black History Month. Yay for the culture of African Americans and people of color. We're going to talk, since we finally ending football, but we're going to talk about this football coach. He's the first African American coach to ever win a Super Bowl, Tony Dungy. Now, Tony Dungy of the Indianapolis Colts became the first Black African American coach to win a Super Bowl. That was on February 4th, 2007, as he coached the Colts his quarterback was Peyton Manning to a victory, marked the first time Black Colts had ever reached the National Football League championship. And that was I remember that. I watched that game. One that featured not just one but 2 Black head coaches. He was going against Lovely Smith first. So when they met in 2007, excuse me, we knew that history was going to be made because one of those coaches was going to win. You had Tony Dungy, you had Lovely Smith. And of course, as you know, Tony Dungy won. Now, it was hard because that was his closest friend, and let me give a little history of him, of Tony Dungy. He joined the Colts as a head coach in 2003, led the team to the playoffs for 3 years running before their Super Bowl win in 2006. He began his career as an NFL safety as a football player with the Pittsburgh Steelers from 1977 to 1978. Although his playing career lasted only one more season, he quickly moved into coaching. Dungy worked his way up to the coaching ranks as a defensive specialist, progressing from defensive coach, back coach, to a defensive coordinator. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers gave him his first job coaching the position in 1996. He achieved a record of 148 wins and 79 losses in the years ahead of him, but he was let go, and John Gruden, who replaced him, there was a lot of controversy over that, took over the reign, and they won the Super Bowl the following year. But a lot of people give credit that was Tony Dungy's team, and he should have been the one to have that distinct of having that Super Bowl. But he did come back and win it in 2007. He was first hired as a head coach in 1996, like I said, and he was the 4th Black coach to ever become a head coach behind Art Shell, Dennis Green, and Ray Rose. Throughout his career, Dungy himself mentored many Black Black NFL coaches, including his friend, like I said, Lovely Smith, Herm Edwards, Jim Caldwell, Mike Tomlin, and Leslie Frazier. And we applaud him, we salute him. Tony Dungy, you see him on NBC, Sunday Night Football on NBC, giving analysis. And ladies and gentlemen, that is sports.
I know you don't want to talk about this. You said it earlier, but the halftime show, I admit I didn't get the chance to see it in real time. I didn't, when halftime came around, I was preoccupied. I think I was on a computer or something, doing something, getting something out of the way. So I didn't get a chance to see it. But I did get a chance to see it. I went to Tubi which is one of those free apps that you can watch movies and things like. Because the Super Bowl was streaming on Tubi as well as Fox, and so I went there to see it, and I looked at it. I had mixed feelings about it, but I went on Facebook the following day, maybe it was like the following day, and I saw all of the opinions of people, liking. Some people like the show, some people love the show, but then you get these trolls that come on Facebook that have to take it to another level. And when I say take it to another level, they have to take it to a racial level. Now, I can read between lines. I know the code. I read the codes. I know what the codes are. You can't fool me. And they were talking about, well, they hated the music. The music was, and that's okay. That's okay. They didn't like the music. I'm not a rap person. I hate the music. It was garbage music. And then one person's called it jungle music. Okay, now you're going too far, you know? And they talked about they shouldn't have those people doing halftime shows, things like that, and that's one of the reasons why I'm really fed up with social media in a way, you
This is
know.
why I take certain leaves of social media away. I
Yeah,
know they're even worse on Instagram and
yeah,
Twitter.
yeah,
I'm not on those platforms. I stay on Facebook, but
yeah,
this is where we are. This is where we are as a country. Here it
yeah,
is, 79 years away from 1946 when you had the first NFL football player.
yeah.
And then the following year, Major League Baseball, Jackie Robinson broke the racial barrier in 1947. Then 3 years later, we had the first African American to play in the NBA. So from
Mhm.
1946, 1947, 1950, the three major sports, that's when blacks were allowed to play. Now, my point is this. I get a lot of heat on social media too. Oh, why do you got to bring him? Why do you got to bring this? And why you got to be racial? Why? I'm not being racial. If you feel uncomfortable for what this country did in the United States of America that prevented blacks and people of color from participating in the NFL, Major League Baseball, and the NBA, why are you getting upset? This is history. Not only is it history, it's sports history. Not only is it sports history, it's American history.
Yeah,
See my point? You're getting mad because we express how we celebrate Black culture, but we couldn't have that opportunity back during the Jim Crow years. Oh, don't get me started now. Don't get me started because I could throw a lot of history. Would you say this to our Jewish brothers and sisters about the Holocaust and tell them, "Oh, you should get over it"? Why should they get over it?
right.
Why should we get over slavery?
Hmm.
It's history. It happens.
Hmm.
It happened. So don't get upset and you feel because if it makes you feel uncomfortable, guess what? You ought to feel uncomfortable. You ought to feel uncomfortable about this.
Hmm.
This is what I go through on social media sometimes.
Hmm.
I have to set them straight. I had to set them straight. Oh, I get ragged, but I give it right back to them.
Well, all I have to say, if you don't like something, you don't watch it. Some people were nice enough to say, I just didn't watch it. I turned it off. And, but there were a few people that just went too far with it. If you don't,
Serena Serena Williams got criticized a lot of it too because she did the Crip walk, the Crip dance, and Crips. If many of you don't know what the Crips are a gang that's basically started out in California, and
yeah,
the Bloods and the Crips. That's really nationwide,
yeah,
and Snoop Doggy Dogg was a former well-known Crip. He still talks about his days as a Crip. Now, there's some controversy about with Snoop Dogg because here it is. He's making a commercial with Tom Brady about peace and
Hmm.
gathering together, but yet he's a former gang member.
Hmm. Well, he recovered. He recovered. Um, um, but sometimes it takes a little shaking up to make you realize, okay, I'm just glad I got out of that. Hey, listen, think about the other people who didn't make it through his day, like Tupac and a few people, and Biggie and those guys. You
Yep.
know,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah, yes, Mary, you're right. I was upset why they had to attack, Serena Williams on this here. This is part of her culture, even though she was born in Michigan, but she was
Hmm.
raised in Compton, California.
Hmm.
It's not the best neighborhoods. I've never been there. I drove past there, but
Hmm.
she decided she wanted to show the culture. She wasn't thinking about violence. She was dancing. She got criticized about that same little walk, that same little dance back in 2012 at a tennis match in England. It was on Wimbledon.
Hmm.
She won the title and she did her little jig, her little dance. And she said, "Wow, I could have got fined." And nothing. I'm not throwing any dirt on the English, but the England people, out there in England, they would have fined her. They would have said all sorts of things, and she did get criticized for that. But don't
Yep.
criticize the history of this country. And I love it. And let me make it perfectly clear: I'm a proud American. I'm a proud American.
Yep.
But let's not get it twisted.
Yep.
America has not always been on the right side of things.
Yep. Well, they're going through a time right now, but we'll recover.
That's right.
Absolutely. Brian, you going to be here tomorrow?
I don't know if I'm going to be here tomorrow. I'm going to leave you some stuff. I have a busy schedule tomorrow. I'm going to send you some stuff. If I am, I'll let you know. But I'm going to send you the stuff. And then if I will be able to, I will give you a call in the morning. But I
Fair
wanted
enough.
to really continue this here because this here irks me when it comes to this racist crap. I
Well,
really it really bothers me and everything. Too bad. I don't know if I want to be on tomorrow, but I want to
well, if
come.
you do, you'll have plenty of time to talk about it then as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I guess we'll catch you hopefully tomorrow. I'll keep my fingers crossed for you.
Okay, Mary, um, I forgive you. I forgive you. Congratulations again. But you have a great evening, Mary. I'll see you. I'll speak to you all later.
Okay, take care, Brian. Brian Camp, you heard that, Mary, right? You picked the wrong team. No, actually, Philadelphia did a good job on that. They slaughtered the Chiefs. I mean, I, those guys were at zero. They weren't on the scoreboard until after halftime, if I'm correct, if I can remember back that well. If you're just joining us, the name of the show is called Talk Back Live. We're talking back live to you. We want you to stay with us. We're going to be here for the remaining of this hour. And we want you to be here, tell your friends about it, and sit back, relax, and enjoy. Right now, we're going to move along because it's that time, and it's that time we go back in time on this day in history, because on this day in history in 1861, Abraham Lincoln was declared U.S. President of Washington, D.C. On this day in history in 1895, moving picture projector was patented. On this day in 1955, KRCG TV, that's Channel 13, in Jefferson City, Missouri, a CBS station begins broadcasting. On this day in history, 1960, Frank Sinatra launches the Reprise label after a failed attempt to buy the Verve label. Back in 1967, Capitol Records releases the Beatles' double A side single, Penny Lane and Strawberry Fields in the US. Back in 1972, film Cabaret with Liza Minnelli, Michael York, and Joel Grey is released. Back in 1982, Pink Floyd's album Dark Side of the Moon marked 204 weeks on the Billboard Top 200 album charts. In 1996, Death Row Interscope Records releases rapper Tupac Shakur his fourth studio album, called All Eyes on Me becomes the final release during his lifetime. In 1996, the rock musical Rent opened on Broadway, on off-Broadway, I should say, in 2015. If you're reading this, it's too late. That's the fourth mixtape by Drake that was released. Born on this day in 1885. Let's see, who was born on this day? Oh, Lady Bess Truman. That was the wife of Harry Truman, the president. She was born on this day in 1885 in Independence, Missouri. She died October 18th, 1982 at 97 years old, and she died from congestive heart failure. In 1919, singer-actor Tennessee Ernie Ford was born in Bristol, Tennessee. He died in 1991. Fighter and test pilot Chuck Yeager was born on this day in 1923 in Myra, West Virginia. He died December 7th in 2020 at the age of 97. On this day in history in 1930, singer Dorothy McGuire of the McGuire Sisters was born. And she was born in Middleton, Ohio, and she died in 2012. In 1933, actress Kim Novak was born on this day in Chicago, Illinois. She's still alive and living. She's 92 years old today. In 1934, actor George Segal was born on this day in Great Neck, New York. He died in 2021. In 1938, actor Oliver Reed was born in London. He died in 1999. Talk show host Jerry Springer was born on this day in 1944. He was born in Highgate Tube Station, London, England. He died April 27th in 2023. He was 79 years old from pancreatic cancer. In 1944, actress Stockard Channing was born in New York City. She's 81 today. In 1945, soul singer King Floyd, Sookie Sookie, he was born in New Orleans, Louisiana, and he died in 2006. Singer Peter Gabriel was born on this day in 1950 in Surrey, England, in the UK. He's 75 years old today. In 1957, U.S. fitness instructor and author Denise Austin was born in San Pedro, California. She's 68 today. In 1940, actress Lana Turner weds band leader Artie Shaw in Las Vegas. They got divorced after 4 months. In 1983, comedian Jerry Lewis marries his second wife, dancer Sandy Picnic. In 1980, actor David Jansen of The Fugitive, remember The Fugitive, and Harry O, he dies at the age of 49 years old. Country singer Waylon Jennings died on this day in 2002. He died at the age of 64 years old. Cause of death was diabetic complications. And he was born June 15th, 1937 in Littlefield, Texas. And in 2023, R&B artist Huey Piano Smith did his Rockin' Pneumonia and the Boogie Woogie Flu, and also doing the hit called Having a Good Time, died at the age of 89 years old. So that's what's happening in the world of entertainment today. Now, those of you who, of course, like to get in touch with me, we're going to do that right now. You can do that fast. I'm going to give you my email address and my telephone number. My email address is Frank Allan Prod. Allan is spelled Allan, Prod is Prod, that's short for production, Prod. Frank Allan Prod at AOL.com. That's Frank Allan Prod at AOL.com. Telephone number is 641-715-3900, extension 467134. That's 641-715-3900, extension 467134. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Those things operate, telephone and email. And if you'd like to talk about the show, email us about that, have ideas. You want to talk about your birthday that's coming up, you can talk about anything you want. Just get in touch with us and keep all the information in your electronic devices, such as your cell phones and your computers, and keep it handy at all times. Okay, so let me give you that email address once again. It's frankallanprod at AOL.com. That's frankallenprod at AOL.com. The telephone number is 641-715-3900, extension 467134. That's 641-715-3900, extension 467134. Last week, I told you about there were certain things that I wanted to tell you about. One of the things I wanted to tell you about is that we talked about DEI, right? DEI, and the companies that that have retreated from DEI. In other words, these are the companies that retreated from it. This way, they don't have to hire minorities or women, the whole 9 yards. You heard it on the news several times. Well, there are a lot of companies that retracted. Now, first of all, I like to say, I want to give a shout out to Costco's. And that's another chain store that people shop for food and other things. They did not. So you could shop right there. Watch where you spend your dollars. Now, these are the following companies that retreated from DEI. Okay, you ready for this? Targets. All right, everybody goes to Targets. Are you still going to go? You got Target, Meta Platform, which is where we are. We broadcast on Facebook and Instagram, Meta Platforms, all right? Amazon, everyone shops Amazon. There's another, Amazon, McDonald's, Walmart, Ford Company, Lowe's, where you buy all of your hardware supplies, Harley Davidson, Brown-Forman, which is the apparent, that's Brown-Forman, which is the apparent of Jack Daniels, John Deere, Tractor Supply. And here's a couple of more that I picked up. I said the ones I just mentioned to you, I mentioned those last week, but here I picked up a couple of more. So, and I'm going to see if I can find more. But here are the other ones that I picked up that I didn't mention last week. Let's say, for instance, the investment firm Goldman Sachs confirmed that it was dropping the requirement that forced IPO clients to include women and members of minority races and groups on the board of directors. So there you go. And last but not least, Google. Ladies and gentlemen, watch where you spend your money. These are the people, I hear a lot of people that say they're no longer going to shop at Targets. I am not going to invest my money, my hard-earned money, into places that will not consider me or anyone that looks like me. All right. So I just read those off to you. I'm not going to read them off again tonight. I'll do it again tomorrow on the coffee hour. Now, there were other prior places that I had personally boycotted because they had once funded the felon's campaign, which was the last time around when he ran for the office. And that was Home Depot, Taco Bell's. I don't eat Taco Bell's anyway. Wendy's, I don't eat anyway. And also Nathan's. I grew up on Nathan's. So now I boycotted Nathan's until I hear anything better. I boycotted Nathan's. So these are the people you ought to watch out for, and I am going to look around for more to see if I could find more to just keep you abreast of all of that. Okay. All right. I have movies, ladies and gentlemen. And as I do each week, I have my picks of the week for your weekend because the weekend is coming up and you're going to be doing a lot of things and it's going to be a long weekend. And of course, you're going to maybe want to catch up on some movies you haven't seen in a long time. And so that's when I come in and I'm going to help you out with that. It's fine. It's okay. It's okay. So here's what I have for you. I have, let's see, how many movies do I have this week? 3, 4, 5, 6 movies. Okay, let me run them down to you. All right, let me run them down to you. I think you're going to like them. They're classic movies. They're from Turner Classic Movies. I always get my movies from Turner Classic Movies and other places. But these are movies that are classic. Some are black and white, some are color. The first one is a color from 1956, starring Bing Crosby, Grace Kelly, and Frank Sinatra. It's called High Society. Now, High Society was a spinoff from the original Philadelphia story, which was in black and white. But this one was in 1956. And it's on Turner Classic Movies. You can check it out Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern. Remember Casablanca with Humphrey Bogart and Ingrid Bergman. And that's coming on from 1943. That's coming on Turner Classic Movies too. And you can check that out Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And Pillow Talk from 1959, starring Rock Hudson, Doris Day. I think it's a little musical comedy there. And Tony Randall is in it as well. And it's on Turner Classic Movies. And you can check that out on Saturday at 12 a.m. Eastern. Mr. Roberts, here's another comedy. Mr. Roberts, 1955. Henry Fonda. And Brian, here's your favorite. James Cagney is in it as well, along with William Powell. That's Mr. Roberts. And that's on Turner Classic Movies. You can check that out. And that's Saturday at 12:15 p.m. Eastern. Oh, you'll like it. It's another color. Okay. Are you into biblical movies like the Ten Commandments or something like that? Well, no, I'm not going to say the Ten Commandments because I have for you Ben-Hur from 1959, starring Charlton Heston. And that's on Turner Classic Movies, and that's on Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern. All right. Brian, if you're watching, I have a favorite for you. The West Side Story. This is the original West Side Story from 1961. Natalie Wood, Richard Beymer, and Russ Tamblyn. Boy, crazy boy. That's on Turner Classic Movies too. And you can check out that coming up this Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern. That's a good time to play the West Side Story. It's a long movie, but I think you'll like it. It's in color, and they're all classics, and I think you'll like them. And you know something? I want you to go to Turner Classic Movies and scroll down the line. And because they may be movies that you may like that I didn't mention, only because these are my picks of the week. And you can scroll down the line and check it out and see what's happening, because there may be others. And put it to your bucket list of what to watch this weekend. You know, it's good. It's okay. That's why I always direct you to Turner Classic Movies. Even after I give you what I have, I always direct you because I don't want to be selfish about it. There may be other movies that you like. You check it out, you know. And of course, you can always go on demand and check out a lot of great stuff. You have stuff for children, great children's shows. You have sporting events that you can get a chance to see. If you don't get a chance to see in real time, you can watch it the following day. You know, you have a lot of great comedies, all kinds of movies from Lifetime movies. You could check those out too. I love Lifetime movies, you know. And documentaries too. I love documentaries too. You pick out, see what kind of documentaries you like. And then you have the free movies. They have them listed from A to Z. You have all of those free movies down there, you know, and you can watch those. And pay-per-view movies that are in the theater presently, and movies that were just in the theaters not too long ago. They're all there, and you can take your time and watch them. So put all of these movies on your bucket list. Let me repeat them one more time. This is High Society with Bing Crosby, Grace Kelly, and Frank Sinatra. Let's Turn Classic Movies Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern. Casablanca from 1943. That's Humphrey Bogart, Ingrid Bergman. Turner Classic Movies Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern. Pillow Talk with Rock Hudson and Doris Day and Tony Randall. Turner Classic Movies. That's Saturday at 12 a.m. Eastern. And then you have Mr. Roberts with Henry Fonda, James Cagney, and William Powell on Turner Classic Movies. That's Saturday at 12:15 p.m. Eastern. Ben-Hur with Charlton Heston, and that's Turner Classic Movies. That's Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern. And West Side Story with Natalie Wood, Richard Beymer, and Russ Tamblyn. That's Turner Classic Movies Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern. Make sure that you put all of these movies. Let me know how you like them. You know, check them out. Let me know how you like them. I'm pretty sure you will. And put a note on my desk and let me know that you like them or not. Okay? Okay, that's going to wrap it up for me, ladies and gentlemen. I had a good time. I really did. I always have a good time with you. I want you to meet me back here tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Eastern, and we'll have more with the coffee hour. Hopefully, we'll keep our fingers crossed that Brian will be here. If not, we'll cover the sports forum or sports update. And then you can meet me back here next Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern for more of Talk Back Live. I'll be here. Brian will be here for sports, and we look forward to seeing you as well. We want to say good night, all of you guys who have been with us, Mary, Brian, and the rest of you out there. Thank you for whatever you're watching. So make sure that you have a great morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. And we'll see you soon. Take care.
You've been watching Talk Back Live with your host Frank Allen. The producer is Al Dale. Technical assistant Dave Taylor. Research by Sandy Pierce. And I'm your announcer Donna Stenke. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time on Talk Back Live.